Hi friends, it's Natalie. So we are going to dabble in trying to do these in YouTube and Reels. So bear with me. We're going to try this out and see how it goes. So what I typically do is I will review all of my photographs that I took for the day in Lightroom, and then I will adjust them using presets. And it's just something that I'm a photographer. It's just something that I do. I will then take that photograph and I will place it into Procreate with, basically it's like a copy and paste. And you use that little wrench in the top to basically paste it in right there. So I split my pages into two columns. I want to work on the left side and then I want to work on the right side. It's just easier for my brain to do that. So I will gather all my photographs that I want to use, as many or as little as I want, and I will kind of place those down where I have an idea of where I want them to be. And then after that is all said and done, now is the fun part, and we get to start bringing in elements. So I have elements in multiple places, and let me explain. I have them in the cloud. That is where all my PNG files will be housed. I used to do a lot of memory keeping and digital scrapbooking. So with that being said, I kept them in a folder out on the cloud. And what a PNG file is, it just basically has a clear, transparent background. Now, if it is from the Print and Pray shop from Illustrated Faith, those are PDF formats. So I keep those in GoodNotes, and GoodNotes is basically acting like a huge sticker book for me. I am able to cut out which items that I want, and then I just paste them in here. Now I choose to use Procreate because, like, this little girl that I'm cutting out, I actually created her in Procreate. And so I wanted to learn how to draw. So this is where I started using Procreate, is because I wanted to draw, do animation, anything like that. So that is why I still use Procreate today. I used to use, when I first started out doing digital, I used Photoshop, and it was more of like plug and play type of things where you would drop your cards and your photographs into these spaces. And then you were good to go, and you could just print or do whatever you wanted. And then I moved or upgraded to GoodNotes, and that's when I got my iPad, is when I moved over to that program. And then probably this year, maybe last year, at the end of the year, I started wanting to learn how to draw. So that is where I went into Procreate. I took a few classes on how to draw, and then that also taught me all the different buttons or areas within Procreate on how they work. But for majority, if you've ever used Photoshop or Photoshop Elements and how layers basically work, it's almost exactly the same, I would have to say. So once I am done with all of that, I will then use another program called Day One, which will house all of my writing. And I literally brain dump I'm basically brain dumping in bulleted format. And I do a lot of talk to text because my brain thinks a lot faster than my fingers can write. And when I do that, I will take it at the end of the day, and I will then upload it into my ChatGPT to then like condense it and make it all make sense for me into a journal entry. And so that's the writing that I'll end up using. And so as you can see right now, I'm still finalizing some of the elements because ChatGPT is running in the background for me and combining everything. So I just kind of like fussy cutted the hi friend and the little ladybug out. And I'm now going to enter in all of my text, which Procreate is not the greatest at, which is okay, but there are some downsides just because text is not its strong suit in this program, but I make it work. And so it's a lot of copying and pasting, and you can't wrap text around in this program hoping, fingers crossed, they come out with it at some point. But that's usually where I spend a lot of my time, is formatting all of the text in here. So I don't know, maybe I will play around, because again, I'm not used to it, because I'm just getting back into doing these digital pages or daily pages again, because the last time I did them, I think I was still using GoodNotes. So kind of just still playing around, trying to figure it all out. I'll get there at some point. Maybe these videos will help me get a little faster at it. But just kind of putting my text in here, formatting as we go. What else did I do? Other than that, everything is just kind of copying from one program and then placing it into this little template that I have. I always have a blank template in Procreate, so I can just like copy or duplicate it so that I have a new one or a blank one to use for when I am actually ready to create. I tend to make these when I'm sitting on the couch, and so it's kind of more difficult for me to do them on this desk for some reason, so I gotta think of a new layout. I also feel like you're not getting the true color and something's off, so I have to figure that out. But this is a starting point. I figured, again, just to share my process and share my thoughts on how I do these, because it seems to become, or is becoming, a little bit more popular from when people are seeing my stuff. So I just want to share how I kind of go about things. And Instagram is great, but I feel like if you want to get the big picture, you kind of need it on a TV or a laptop. At least you can see a little bit more, my opinion. But we're going to be finishing up this page. I'm just kind of seeing what else is needed. So I'm going to delete that little line that I had going down the middle, because I don't really need that anymore. And sometimes I put it in and sometimes I don't. I guess it kind of depends on that day of what I want. So I'm kind of going through the print and pray items, seeing what paper I want. I'm going to kind of use it as like a washi tape, and I'm going to put it in between the photograph and that girl down there. And then this is where like I can change the opacity to make it look more washi tape realistic, I guess you could say. And I'm going to do another one up top, but I'm going to show you that you can use like paper and you can cut out shapes. So I know that Illustrated Faith is really big into scallops right now, which then I'm loving scallops as well. So now you can make your own scallop paper. So I'm just kind of going through and I'm going to draw out my own scallop, which I realized I needed to do it a certain way because I wanted to do my humps that way. So now I'm going to cut out that little section, and here is our little scallop paper. So you can do this on any type of, or really on anything, and make it into a scallop for yourself. So I found that really nice, and I don't know, I just liked it. So the next thing is I'm going to color in or circle August 25th, because I think that's the day I'm writing about. And now I'm going to just export it. I put it into my day one as just having a copy there, and then I am going to print it. And I use A5 paper that is already pre-punched, and then I can bring this and place it into my ring planner that I have, that I kind of Frankenstein, that has blank paper like that you're seeing here, and then it has my Hobonichi in here as well. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them below. I hope you enjoyed this. These videos will get better, I promise. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.